He may not be the best, but he's the best in your price range. So please, pretend to welcome Jake O'Kane!
Hello, what about you? And last time I was on, I predicted that Liz Truss was about to gone. Yeah. Which means we've now 3 chancellors and 3 prime ministers in 2 months. Now, you see, it didn't need a crystal ball to work that one out. You didn't need to be looking in, you know. Didn't need Mystic Meg, didn't need anything like that there. Because while a Tory prime minister can be a liar, a cheat, con man, can have loads of lovers, can be a bit dubious as to who's paying the bills. You know what I mean? Who's paying the bills for his redecoration? The one thing that a Tory Prime Minister cannot do is bust the economy and cost Tory billionaire donors money. You're gone. You're gone. That happens, you're gone. I have to say, watching the Tories implode is a joy. It all began when Liz's Home Secretary, right, Suella Braverman, she resigned. She sent in a resignation letter because she had made a mistake with an email. And lo and behold, we learned within a matter of a couple of hours that it wasn't about the email at all. There had been a stand-up row between Braverman and Truss over immigration. Because, of course, Suella wants to put every refugee she can find on a plane and send them over to Africa. Big-hearted woman she is. So there was an exchange of words, and they were fruity words. Oh, but a transcript of the argument was leaked. Who knows how, but it got leaked. And it was leaked, and a German news programme actually reported what was said. And I take no responsibility for this. This was said between a Prime Minister and a Home Secretary. I don't think you're going to need a translation for the English bit.
Dann der stellvertretende Fraktionschef das Parlament mit den Worten verließ, I'm fucking furious and I don't fucking care anymore. Ich übersetze das jetzt mal nicht, aber das ist eine Partei, wo wirklich...
That wasn't the only fruity language on the day. Oh, it was a day of heightened emotions. And Channel 4's Christian Gurumurty, he was interviewing Northern Ireland Minister of State, Steve Baker, and well, there was a slip of the tongue. They had a very heated exchange, and at the end of that exchange, Gurumurty actually described the Mr. Baker in a very interesting fashion. I didn't say this.
Thanks a lot, Steve. It wasn't a stupid question, Steve. You know it. I'm very happy to go up against you on trust any day. What a cunt.
Gurumurty, he apologised right away, and Baker, to give him credit, he accepted the apology, didn't make a big deal out of it, and I for a moment thought, yeah, this Baker guy mightn't be that bad after all. I mean, he did apologise to the EU for being a bit of a during negotiations, but then his mask slipped on last Sunday when he was interviewed about the Northern Ireland Protocol, and he basically threatened to pull down whatever Prime Minister may be elected within the coming week if they didn't do exactly what he and the DUP and his ERG mates and all the rest wanted them to do.
Yes, I have. I've spoken to him, I think, 3 times in the last 24 hours, and I'm absolutely not concerned that Rishi will follow through. As he said in public during the summer campaign, he will follow through on the current policy. But again, no one should be in doubt about this. If Simon Hoare and I can agree that the current policy needs to be carried forwards, then the EU, and I hope they'll hear me, the EU should understand there's not going to be a change of policy.
You say that if he doesn't, then the Eurosceptics will effectively...
and this is me just observing. I mean, people should look at recent history and understand that in similar circumstances, the same effect will happen. We know what a Boris Johnson government will be like. We know how members of Parliament will vote if the when the privileges issue comes up, and we know how Eurosceptics will respond if they feel betrayed over the Northern Ireland Protocol. We just know how they will. And this is not an issue for me. I don't ever want to be any part of any kind of rebellion ever again. I've done enough of that for 7 years.
I've done quite a lot of it.
But the point is, what I'm trying to do this morning, I have done a lot, I'm afraid, but what I'm trying to reflect on here is that irrespective of what I think, those Eurosceptic colleagues who I know and love like brothers and sisters, they will absolutely not tolerate any divergence from what we've said we're going to do. And again, look at the recent past. Again, it doesn't matter whether people like it or not. They will do what they will do, and that is they will bring down any Prime Minister who doesn't deliver on this issue.
So at the end, Gordon Murty was right. Baker is a bit of a...
What a cunt.
Now, the fun at Westminster did not end there. Oh, no, it got better. It all came to a head last week for Liz when there was a very contentious vote on fracking. And now it started off that it wasn't a vote of confidence in the government, but then somewhere along the way it became a vote of confidence in the government, and then the Tory whip wasn't aware that it became a vote of confidence in government, and they resigned, but then they were put back in place. They didn't resign about an hour later, and it got so good. It got so good that Tory MPs were manhandling each other through the yes vote lobby. There were men in tears. Long-standing Tory MPs were nearly in tears.
This is an absolute disgrace. As a Tory MP of 17 years, who's never been a minister, who's got on with it loyally most of the time, I think it's a shambles and a disgrace. I think it is utterly appalling.
So you seem quietly...
I'm livid.
I'm sorry, it's very difficult to convey. You look just furious about this.
I am. I've had enough. I've had enough of talentless people putting their tick in the right box, not because it's in the national interest, but because it's in their own personal interest to achieve ministerial position.
What break her heart? What Tory MPs in tears over each other. Oh no, I was loving this. Loving it. The very next morning, Liz Truss opened the blinds at her bedroom window at number 10 to see the harbinger of doom, the chairman of the 1922 committee, Graham Brady, pulled up in his car to have a word with Liz. Bye bye, Liz. I love this.
I have therefore spoken to His Majesty the King to notify him that I am resigning as leader of the Conservative Party.
The ink wasn't even dry in Liz Truss's resignation speech than the ego landed. Yeah, Boris was back from an extended holiday in the Dominican Republic, paid for by... Anyway, his old pal, Jacob Rees-Mogg, speaking via a medium from the 1890s, said that Boris had the numbers necessary. He had the 100 MPs to come back and take the crown.
Boris Johnson clearly has a mandate. Now, constitutionally, a new Prime Minister would not be forced to have a general election.
But wouldn't you know it? Landshades. Boris didn't have the numbers, nor did Penny Mordaunt, so it was a coronation of the new boy king Prime Minister, Rishi Sunak. Not only was Rishi a record breaker in being the youngest PM in 200 years, he was also the first member of an ethnic minority to take that position. But most importantly of all, he is the richest PM in history, with a personal fortune of somewhere around 730 million quid. Ka-ching. Well done, Rishi. So when Rishi went to kiss Charles' hand to become the Prime Minister later that week, he was the richer of the two. Poor old Charlie has to struggle along with only 350 million. Who knows? If this winter is as bad as people are saying, maybe Charlie and Rishi will put their hands in their very deep pockets and bail us all out. Right. Rishi, of course, didn't smile going into number 10. No, because he was a serious man doing a serious job, and there was a serious problem. So he wouldn't smile. He wouldn't smile. And people said that's because he was a serious man doing a serious job, and there was a serious problem. I think it's because he's probably a robot. I'm not sure about this, Che.
Pledge that I will serve you with integrity and humility, and I will work day in, day out to deliver for the British people.
But I'm going to watch the news now. No, I'm watching the news. It's the most entertaining thing on TV right now, because a billionaire prime minister telling that he's going to cut public spending. What could possibly go wrong?